Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from that.
Morning, y'all. What it do? Still with the camp. Sound like a little big bounce out, bounce down. Can't poke through the door. Hit the top to this box, forget about soliloquy. Them tough times on last. Good people do enough shit. Cut them in the file like maybe you met a peak game, metaphors of what's swing. Your boy back recording again, man. I had to a couple days out. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of get myself right, man, mentally. I still was replying to comments because, Bud Buddy started, stuff was sweet. They thought they'd come over here and say what they want. You know what I'm talking about? And, boys had to check, boys. Hey, don't come over here, man. Don't watch. Let me reiterate. Don't watch my videos if you can't take the truth. You know what I'm talking about? If you can't take the truth, don't watch my videos. Don't come over here in the comment section crying. Don't do none of that, bro. Just chill, bro. Go do something else. Go do something safe. That's all I gotta say. Richardson Hitchins talks about free agency after the fight. After he body bag and toe tag George Kambosos, he brought up going into free agency. He talked about how Eddie Hearn and Matchroom have done wonders for his career and put him in position to be successful. And after the fight, Eddie Hearn was pretty upset. He talked about how he up-fronted a lot of money for Richardson Hitchins to put him in position. When they really didn't, he didn't get what he put into it. He didn't get in return what he put into it. He talked about how it's the people around Richardson Hitchins, his management team, that are snakes. And he's talking, he said he personally likes Richardson Hitchins. He's just saying it's the people around him that is kind of, possibly pulling him another way. So my question to y'all is in the comment section: is Richardson Hitchins wrong? Is Eddie Hearn right for feeling how they feeling? My opinion, I feel like Richardson Hitchins, when he was on Mayweather Promotions, you didn't really hear about the kid. The only reason you knew about him because he was always around Tank or Adrian Broner. You seen him. Floyd would market him every now and then. But when he went to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, his career kind of took off. You know what I'm saying? I won't say popularity-wise, but him just getting in contention to get the big fights and showcase his talent. You know what I'm saying? And really show that he, is a top fighter at his weight class. You know what I'm saying? So he got a lot of big fights coming up. And the thing that I want people to understand is, I get where Eddie Hearn coming from. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn put you in contention to get these big fights. I won't say Richardson Hitchins is a star yet. I will say he's kind of like in that realm how Terrence Crawford was, right? Where he could fight, but he's not popular. You know what I mean? That's how I look at Richardson Hitchins. Y'all excuse me, man. My dang eye itching. He can fight, but he's not popular. You know what I mean? That's how I look at Richardson Hitchins. You know what I'm saying? Which me personally, if I was him, I would rather have that than be popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, but all I'm saying at the end of the day, to keep it 1,000, keep it true, coming down, working with Will, it's like at the when you look at the totality of the circumstances, I think Richardson Hitchins should stay with Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn, this is the only time I would agree and say that Eddie Hearn has done something for American fighters' career. You know what I'm saying? He's helped get this guy to basically be a champion, and be respected in the sport. I mean, I think a lot of people respected him, but, it's like that guy you see that got the potential to be something. That's how I feel about Shakur. You know, like they got the potential to be something, but I feel like Richardson Hitchins is actually getting the opportunity to show it. I mean, he beat Liam Parle. You know what I'm saying? He just beat up George Kambosos. Now, granted, we can nitpick, right? And we're gonna be real. You know what I mean? My bad. I'm trying to like make sure I can turn. We could be real about this. George Kambosos, I would say 2 out of his 3 fights that he's, you know, he ain't been looking, you know, he ain't been looking right. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep it 1,000. He kind of been riding that Teofimo Lopez win. You know what I'm saying? We just being real. We just being honest, truthful. Kind of been riding that Teofimo Lopez win, bro. So then you look at I give him credit for beating Lamparo. You know what I'm saying? But he kind of made like a business move. You know what I'm saying? And that's another video I'm gonna drop on Clips Factory. I'm gonna drop that video on Clips Factory. Business moves, right? He could have fought Super Matias, his mandatory, right? But he went ahead and fought George Kambosos, which is a bigger money fight, right? He's making a lot of business decisions. He's making decisions that's going to make him more money, that's going to sell more. Because Super Matias is a killer. I don't care what nobody say. And I think that's a 50-50 fight. You know, I think at first I was like, man, Super Matias will knock out Richardson Hitchins. I look at that now as a 50-50 fight because Richardson Hitchins is a type of fighter that has unleashed or revealed some different little wrinkles about his game. So when I look at him as a fighter now, I'm like, okay, cool. He has this in his arsenal. So he may be able to box Super Matias' head off. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. You know, but I think that's the next fight if Super Matias, I don't know if he's still fighting Alberto Puello. But if he is fighting Alberto Puello, I think he is. That's a hell of a fight, man. That's a hell of a fight. I'm going to watch that. I ain't going to hurt you. I'm going to watch that, man. But if he is, maybe he could fight him in a unification. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and I'm just looking on surface level. Now, if you want to deep dive into it, which I'm gonna drop that video on Clips Factory. Y'all go to Clips Factory. You know, that video gonna be on Clips Factory. I'm gonna deep dive into the kind of nitpicking type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But I think that basically, man, it's just like you gotta analyze. You know, on the surface level, if I'm Richardson Hitchins, I stay with Eddie Hearn, bro. You know, I stay with Eddie Hearn, re-sign with him, you know, and then, you know, just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Maybe don't do a long-term deal. Maybe do like a 2-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be able to try to secure, you know, another big fight, which I think Eddie Hearn can probably get Richardson Hitchins and Devin Haney in the ring. You know, I would like that. You know what I'm saying? Pause. I think that's a good scrap. Or Richardson Hitchins versus the Racist, which would be good for boxing, right? Because it'll sell. They both from New York. They trash talk. You know, that'd be good for boxing. I think Devin Haney fight won't really sell as much because Bill do all the talking. Devin don't really, he talk, but he don't really talk that much. It's always Bill. And I think because of that, it hurts Devin Haney, you know, as far as him marketing wise, you know what I'm saying? Because Bill Haney the one always talking and did that. And I'm not telling Devin Haney to get out of character. I'm just saying that, you know, that's the reality of the situation. So, y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let's go.